Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be looking at Ingrid doing her very fancy 5-petal drop stitch crochet pattern. It does have other names, but this is what we're looking at. It looks complicated, and it is.
It's not, it's very easy.
So Ingy says it's very easy. Okay, so Ing, if you'd like to go ahead and sort of demonstrate for us.
Okay, here we go. Welcome aboard, everyone. I've begun with my basic black centre, which is 10 half trebles into a magic ring, followed by 20 trebles, so 2 trebles in each stitch to make a round of 20 stitches in the second row. We're going to join now with our second colour from black to red or burgundy, joining with a slip stitch on the hook, and where I finished with my black, just popping into the chain here, grab that little tail and do a double crochet and chain 1 to make the first treble, then a second treble into the same stitch, catching your tails in. Next we're going to form the posts of the petal, and the simple step is to go between the treble posts of the next 2 stitches. So drop between there, and we're doing now double trebles. So yarn over twice on the hook, drop down, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over again. We're going to repeat that double treble, but this time into the top of that treble post here from round 2. So pull through, yarn over 2, yarn over 2,
So that's into
yarn
the
over
space.
2.
The first one's into the space, the second one is
into the
stitch.
treble.
Yep.
We're going to repeat that step through, yarn over 2, yarn over 2, pull through 2 again. And finally one more to complete that pair. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And to finish this petal, we're going to treble into the next stitch, and then 2 chain and slip stitch into that same stitch as that treble. So there's your first petal formed.
So that gives you a nice rounded petal.
Little rounded petal.
Okay.
Following on, we're going to start again with a double crochet, chain 1 and 1 treble into that same stitch. Then again repeat, double treble into the space between the treble posts and into the top of that same treble stitch from round 2. You can see it's a drop and into the stitch. We'll repeat that. And then to finish off, it's a treble 1, 2 chain and slip stitch into the same space as that treble, the same stitch as that treble.
So how many, you end up with 5 petals doing this?
5
over
petals,
4 stitches,
yep.
is
it? 5 petals for
over
4 stitches, that's
each.
right, yeah. 2 stitches at either end are trebles or treble equivalents, and the 2 in between are double trebles. So that gives you the dome of the round of your petal. So again, treble into that last stitch, chain 2 and slip stitch into the same stitch as the treble. So we've now got 1, 2, 3 petals. It works up very quickly.
Yep.
It's a very friendly little pattern, but it might take some manipulation, you know, if you're a little bit tight with your tension. You've got to loosen up a little bit to allow this to form nice and freely. The last round is a little bit finicky, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy. We're down to a treble stitch, whoops, and chain 2 and slip stitch into that same space. Now the next thing, finally, one last double crochet, chain 1, 1 treble into the same space, double treble, find the space between the 2 treble posts. Just make sure you do that. If you don't do it, if you can do 2 trebles into the top of 1 treble stitch, but it just doesn't end up the same.
No, it gives you that really nice little variegated.
It's almost like a little pansy effect.
Yeah. So if you can do that, that's good.
Yeah. And it depends on the yarns that you're using. Some yarns are a little bit more friendly in doing certain stitches.
Well, this is a really lovely Bendigo.
This is a Bendigo yarn. It's a lovely one. What we've got here is we'd ordinarily join that with a slip stitch, but I'm actually going to change colour first. I'm going to leave that open and grab my red colour. And this is just again another lovely red acrylic that I bought in a $2 shop, but it's got a nice sheen to it. Yeah, let's show what the 5 petal effect looks like.
So in the end, I'm just going to move this over for a sec.
Yep.
This is what the 5 petals look like in their almost finished state. And now you've just got one more row to do. Yep.
That's it. The final row brings it all together and tucks it all in.
So you can see the difference between where we are there, which looks very plain, moving into this one, which looks very fancy indeed.
And the point to show is that the drop stitch comes down, if you remember the front post that we were doing in the recent pattern, we were going around these 2 stitches into that stitch and out of that one. With this one, we're just simply doing a drop double crochet into that space of those 2 trebles there from the previous row. So what I've done is I've joined my red yarn here.
So you've changed into a brighter red yarn. That
bright
gives you that,
red yarn.
really gives
I'm
it a lift at the end.
Just going to give that a little bit of a collar for this yarn to hook onto, and we'll simply pull that down. So there's my new yarn. I'm going to simply do a slip stitch with this. So there I've joined my yarn, and immediately I want to do a drop. Sometimes it's debatable whether to do that one or this one, but I'll choose to go this way. So this is the drop double crochet. So you're just doing a double crochet, but it's a long stitch and just bringing it back up. It's a little bit loopy there, but that'll be okay. We'll tie that in. And here we're going to immediately start. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. So we're going to commence with, and we're working in the back loop only. This is going to be a half treble 8 times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now here we could do a chain 1 to help bring it down into this. This is the slip stitch from the previous round where we did 1 treble and then 2 chain and a slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch into that same slip stitch.
So that curls it over.
So that brings it down.
Yeah.
And now that brings us to our long double crochet or drop stitch double crochet. Again, you can see how that's cupping that together. Right, and immediately begin with our 8 half trebles into the back loop only of our petals from the previous round. Last one. And again, I did a chain one because that helps it. Oh, I've split my yarn there. Sorry, I have to go back because it doesn't look nice when you split the yarn. Just find the back loop only of that stitch. Chain one, come down into that slip stitch there. This yarn doesn't want to play along today. Sorry guys. Chain one and down here, and there, just about holding the yarn properly so it goes through nicely. Again, the long stitch or drop double crochet to give you that post effect, and 8 half trebles. I actually have to pull the yarn up a little bit just to sort of give it a little bit more length, otherwise it can turn into a bit of a tight ball, so you don't want it too curled up. So just making sure you've got your stitches evenly up there. They should be raised a little bit so that you've got dimension in your half treble.
Yep. And we can see that from the fold in the last one.
Yeah.
So you need to have some depth in those stitches,
yep,
even though they're half trebles.
Yep. Yeah. A half treble can disappear and look almost like a double crochet if you don't give it enough length or height.
Okay, so we're getting up to 12 minutes now, so we might leave that there.
Okay.
But I'm just going to go back and show you again what the outcome of all that is, and Yingy's going to hold that out and show us what it looks like now. 2/3 finished, 3/5 finished.
3/5 finished,
yes. And this is what it looks like when you've finished it. Absolutely beautiful.
With a lovely button.
So thanks, Yingy. We're going to try and write up a pattern for that, but it's actually one of those ones that's easier to follow if you're actually doing it on a video.
Yep.
So thanks, Ying.
Thank you, everyone, and good luck.
You can say that again.
Thank you, everyone, and good luck.